This was another azure fox that was over twice the size of Sulio. It was wearing a suit of beautiful golden armor that was riddled with countless flashing silver runes, and there were 9 massive tails trailing along behind it, giving it a very majestic appearance. The 9-tailed fox also had a set of long and thin eyebrows, and there was also a radiant star design on its glabella. At the same time, it was giving off an enormous aura that was slightly superior even to that of the golden beetle. Our king! Fervent looks appeared on the faces of all of the beast race golden immortals at the sight of the 9-tailed fox, while the beast race army down below enjoyed another significant morale boost. Father! Suliu immediately flew over to the 9-tailed fox's side, but the golden beetle wasn't paying any attention to Suliu or the 9-tailed fox. Instead, its golden eyes were roaming over its surroundings, seemingly searching for something. Han Li was rather apprehensive at the sight of the golden beetle's searching gaze, and he couldn't be certain if Jin Tong really would be able to escape its detection by hiding in Xiao Bai's stomach. Thankfully, the golden beetle's gaze swept over him without pause, and that came as quite a relief to him. But he still didn't dare to let down his guard. The 9-tailed fox gave Suliu a stern glare, then raised a front paw to send a burst of azure light flying into Suliu's body. With this injection of azure light, most of Suliu's injuries were instantly healed, and a wide smile appeared on his face as he said, "Thank you, Fa." "Stand down," the 9-tailed fox instructed, cutting him off in a serious voice. Suliu nodded in response, then flew away into the distance. "Leave this place right now, insect spirit. Otherwise, you leave me with no choice but to strike you down," the 9-tailed fox declared in a thunderous voice. Only then did the golden beetle finally turn its gaze to the 9-tailed fox for the first time. In the next instant, it abruptly transformed into a golden shadow, appearing behind the 9-tailed fox in a flash before opening its mouth to release a thick pillar of translucent golden light, which pierced straight through the 9-tailed fox's body in the blink of an eye. The 9-tailed fox remained completely still on the spot, seemingly having failed to react, but in the next instant he abruptly vanished, revealing that body to have only been an afterimage. The golden beetle faltered slightly upon seeing this, and it stopped cold in its tracks. Immediately thereafter, the 9-tailed fox appeared behind it out of thin air amid a flash of azure light, following which its 9 tails shot out like lightning to ensnare the golden beetle, while also releasing an azure spirit domain. At the same time, a layer of black spiritual light emerged over its 9 tails, and starlight was flashing incessantly over the tails as they rapidly constricted, tightening around the golden beetle's body like 9 black pythons. The 9-tailed fox then opened his mouth to release a pillar of black flames that struck the golden beetle before erupting into a sea of fire, and all of this had taken place in the blink of an eye. The sea of fire was giving off bursts of incredibly scorching heat that caused the nearby space to warp and tremble violently. And even though Han Li was quite a distance away from the sea of fire, even he had to fly into the distance, unable to bear the heat. Suliu had also retreated into the distance as a pleased look appeared in his eyes. Meanwhile, the 9-tailed fox continued its barrage of attacks, and a beam of starlight abruptly shot out of the star design on his glabella. The beam of starlight was formed by countless black starlight runes, and they were plunged into the sea of black flames while giving off tremendous law power fluctuations. As a result, the sea of fire reared up significantly, and the black flames quickly became lighter in color, but the heat that they were giving off only continued to elevate. The nearby space was tainted a black color, and it also began warping far more violently than before, making it appear as if the very space were about to be set alight. The golden beetle was completely inundated by the sea of fire, and it seemed that it had already been incinerated into ashes. Suliu was ecstatic to see this, as were all of the beast race golden immortals, while all of the insect race golden immortals were looking on in horror and despair. However, in the next instant, the sea of fire suddenly began to churn violently, and a rapidly expanding vortex appeared within it, following which a burst of golden light emerged within the vortex. Before the 9-tailed fox had a chance to do anything, the vortex abruptly swelled in size, while the golden light inside also brightened significantly, and all of the black flames were instantly sucked into the vortex. As a result, the golden beetle was revealed, and it was still ensnared within the 9 tails. But there was golden light radiating from its mouth as it devoured the final wisp of black fire. The cheering from the beast race army instantly subsided, and the entire battlefield fell still for a moment, while Sulyu was also looking on with his mouth agape in shock. How has the insect spirit become so powerful? It stood no chance against Master Yohu during the last war. Nuo Yifan murmured to herself with a stunned expression. "Is this your king?" Hanli asked. "That's right. Master Yohu is the king that's worshipped by all of our beast race tribes, and he's also the father of our tribe's true spirit, Sulyu," Nuo Yifan replied with a nod. "It sounds like this isn't the first battle between your king and the insect spirit. How does the insect spirit match up against your kind? Does it have any weaknesses?" Hanli asked. "The insect spirit has an incredibly sturdy body and can devour almost all attacks, so I can't think of any physical weaknesses. I recall that Master Yohu had only been able to force it into retreat last time by using some type of spiritual attack," Nuo Yifan replied. Hanli nodded in response. He knew better than anyone else just how incredible the physical prowess of gold-devouring beetles were. However, compared with their near-indestructible bodies, their souls were indeed far more fragile. Right as Hanli and Nuo Yifan were conversing with each other, the golden beetle suddenly turned his gaze to the 9 tails around its body, following which 2 thin streaks of translucent golden light erupted out of its front limbs toward the tails. The 9-tailed fox immediately withdrew its tails as quickly as it could, while also fleeing into the distance. And even though it had reacted very quickly, 2 of its tails were still struck by the streaks of golden light. Those 2 tails were instantly severed, and blood came gushing out of the wounds. The 9-tailed fox drew to a halt close to 10 kilometers away, and a furious look appeared in its eyes at the sight of its severed tails. It thrust its 2 front paws forward, and 2 resounding thumps rang out as a pair of giant beastly paw projections, one azure and one black, emerged above the golden beetle. The paw projections were giving off a faint azure glow, within which were countless dancing azure runes, following which an image of a starry night sky emerged on the paw projections. The 2 projections drew back slightly, then came crashing down upon the golden beetle with tremendous power. The golden beetle gave a disdainful sneer, following which 2 bursts of golden light that resembled pythons shot out of its body, then pierced through the pair of paw projections with ease, before winding themselves around the projections and constricting viciously. A burst of terrifying power instantly began acting upon the pair of paw projections, instantly shattering them into countless specks of azure and black spiritual light, which spread through the entire surrounding area in a radius of close to 10 kilometers. The 9-tailed fox raised its 2 front paws before drawing a pair of semicircles in midair, and the scattered specks of azure and black light suddenly began to flash before fusing together to form countless black and azure threads of light that wound themselves around the golden beetle. The golden beetle was clearly a little taken aback by this, but it remained completely unfazed as countless streaks of translucent golden light erupted out of its body to strike the black and azure threads of light. These threads of light didn't appear to be all that remarkable, but they were incredibly sturdy, and only less than half of them were severed, while the rest remained firmly in place. A hint of surprise flashed through the golden beetle's eyes upon seeing this, and right at this moment, the 9-tailed fox appeared directly above its head. Black light flashed from the 9-tailed fox's front paws, and 2 sets of scythe-like black claws that each around 10 feet in length sprang forth. The 9-tailed fox then swooped down with radiant starlight emanating from its claws, which scratched down viciously upon the golden beetle's back to send sparks flying in all directions. A burst of tremendous energy fluctuations erupted in all directions as the golden and black light clashed with immense power, and all of the claws on the 9-tailed fox's front paws were snapped, while only a series of white marks had appeared on the golden beetle's back. The claws hadn't even been able to draw any blood. And the nine-tailed fox's expression instantly darkened significantly upon seeing this. All of a sudden, the golden light radiating from the golden beetle's body abruptly brightened significantly, and translucent threads of golden light could be seen within it, giving off a burst of tremendous suction force. The black light was instantly sucked into the golden light on contact, while the golden light continued to surge toward the nine-tailed fox. The nine-tailed fox was clearly very wary of this golden light, and he immediately sprang away into the distance as an azure shadow. However, right at this moment, the golden light around the golden beetle brightened even further, giving it the appearance of an incandescent golden sun. The radiant golden light rapidly spread outward in all directions to form an enormous golden spirit domain, within which streaks of golden light were swirling around incessantly to form a series of vortexes of different sizes. The nine-tailed fox wasn't able to get very far away at all before it was caught within the golden spirit domain, upon which its speed was significantly hampered. At this point, the threads of azure and black light around the golden beetle's body had already vanished, and it cast a cold gaze toward the nine-tailed fox before opening its mouth to release around a dozen golden law threads. As soon as these law threads shot out of its mouth, they immediately swelled drastically in size while radiating dazzling golden light with countless golden runes flashing within it. Immediately thereafter, the dozen or so enlarged law threads intertwined to form an extremely lifelike golden worm that was several thousand feet in length.